Recording. Hello, this is Quentin again. I'm going to be giving you guys my informative speech. Here's my audience. So here we go. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about the benefits of video games and how they can be helpful in many ways. To start off, I'd like to start off by saying, what do you think of when I say video gamer? Now, quite a few people might think of video games being something that help create violence. You hear in the news all the time about kids going off on killing sprees, killing a whole bunch of people in their schools or in public setting, and how video games somehow played a role in that. Now, that may be true that the kid played violent video games such as Call of Duty or something where they go and the main purpose of the game is killing. But at the same point, I feel that the video game itself did not contribute to the actions, as many people do. In a lot of ways, video games can have a positive impact on society. While it's true that many of the people that play the games probably play them too much, me included, it's also true that games can help you in many ways. For one, a study done in 2012, there's a group of people that the study was done on where the people say that playing certain kinds of action-based games can actually make your decision time up to 25% faster than people who do not play the games. Without, it didn't really affect their decision making, such as they didn't make mistakes or anything anymore as much anyway. They simply were able to decide an answer faster. It also helped them prove that many people that play video games are actually more creative and imaginative. Through research and experience, I've learned that I've actually learned a lot of things about myself with video games. I learned that how easy it is to really become addicted to a game, and I've kind of figured I might possibly be addicted a little bit myself, which, now that I know about it, I can easily cut myself from it. In my opinion, games are a good way to get away from your normal life, again, as long as you do them in moderation. Now, with I don't know if I see the me making decisions faster or my creativity being any higher than anyone else's, but I guess it's possible. Maybe I just don't see it because I've always kind of been a gamer. So I have found, though, in one way, if I'm studying for a test, I'll study the night before, and then if I go and play a game the morning of, right before the test, I seem to be more relaxed walking into the test. Seem to remember things better compared to when I don't play the game right before a test. Any game in general, not a certain game, but now there's some games out there that can really benefit you in real life. Simulators are the first thing that I think of. Now, the purpose of a simulator is for learning. Simulator is set up so that people can learn about real case scenarios without actually going into them. It helps them benefit, make them to think critically and evaluate the situation before they actually go into it. The first example that I think of is a space simulator. Lots of people, astronauts in NASA, they really use a lot of simulators so that their bodies and their minds can both get a better understanding of what it's going to be like in space. The benefits of the simulator is it really does help you get prepared for the real life. Now, some people say, well, simulation isn't a video game, but in so many ways it is, because it still has the same, maybe more realistic than a video game playing on your TV with a controller and a headset, but at the same time you're still playing a video game because you can't die in real life. You can respawn as many times as you want, vice versa. The advantages to a simulator is one that it is very compatible with the principles of constructivism. It helps promote critical thinking, and it helps the person get a better understanding of what to expect when they're in the field, like the field for real. When they go into space, their body and mind's mentally prepared for it. When they do their first takeoff on an airplane, they get a better feeling of what it's like because of the simulator. But one of the biggest disadvantages is the cost of the simulators cost. There are flight and space simulators that you can just plug into your computer, and you got a joystick and whatnot, but it's not it's not moving. You're not getting the real action that you get in a simulator like at NASA. The problem with that is the price is so high that the only places that can really afford a simulator like that is a place like NASA or a large flight academy, places like that. Another large disadvantage would be the teaching involved. It's so much more complex because the teacher, in most cases of simulation, the teacher is picking the things that go wrong or the things that go right, or is adding in things into the simulation to see how the person would react to it. The benefit of simulators are kind of obvious, but then at the same time, how do the games influence your personal ability in real life scenarios? Well, in a lot of ways, games can increase your reflexes. As many people know, games do in fact increase someone's hand-to-eye coordination. I have kind of noticed this in myself. I seem to be able to, even just typing better. The more I play video game, it seems like the easier it is for me to type something, an essay, speech, vice versa. But at the same time, it's not going to make you run faster or jump higher or shoot lightning bolts out of your eyes. Things like it's not going to do anything like that. But it can help you. Now, the purpose of how it increases the influxes, I believe the main reason that I feel that it helps so much is with your mental reflex is that there's so many things going on in the game at one time. Like a game that I play a lot right now is Call of Duty. Now, you're not just sitting there looking through a scope, looking down the barrel of a gun, waiting for a person to run in front of you. You have to, there's maps that you look at the same time. You have to constantly look for traps, mines. You have to look for, you're looking for people that, the way that the game is designed is you really can't see people unless you're looking for them. So you're looking at so many things at a time that it seems to make it easier almost to concentrate on them because you're concentrating on so many things at once. Now with visual recognition, to many it seemed that the only thing that the gamers do is games help with is hand-to-eye coordination. But one of the major things that they also help you better is it seems to make you learn other things easier. The main purpose that it does this, I guess, I'd feel just, again, because you're concentrating on so many things, that you transition from concentrating on 6 different things in one game to sitting down and just reading about math. With math, you're normally only doing 1 or 2 things at a time. It just becomes so much easier because you're used to doing 5 or 6 things at a time, and then you're only doing 1. So then, if you have the mental benefits, how good is it really for you for college life, such as most of us right now? Well, again, with problem solving, it really can affect your learning, but in many ways it can affect it a good way. It becomes easier to solve a problem, mainly because in most of the games that you're playing, there's the goal that you have to get to, and in order to get to that goal, you have to figure out an equation. Now, it's not like a math equation or a biology equation. It's more of like, how am I going to get from this point to this point without getting killed? But you can apply that in many ways to your schoolwork. With your math homework, if you can find a more creative way or easier way for yourself to figure out the square root of a triangle, for example. Let's say you don't understand how the teacher's explaining it, but you can figure out how to do it yourself, your own way in your head. Now then, we're going to move on to social skills. With social skills, it's, you're sitting inside all the time, you're not exactly out socializing with people that you know or people close to you, but at the same time, in a lot of ways, you're socializing with people all around the world. For example, I have a friend, I've never met him before, don't know his real name, but he's from Germany. I play video games with him on my PlayStation, online, play against each other, with each other. Now, I don't speak a lot of German, and he doesn't speak a lot of English, but we both speak enough of each other's language to where we can understand what we mean when we're playing, talking to each other on our headsets. So, working together, we're socializing, making a social contract of working together, planning something out on how to win the game or the match or whatever we're playing at the time. And then another social aspect is with me personally, I have a lot of friends that are close to me that also play the same type of games. So we'll talk about the games when we're not playing, at lunch, whatever, talking about, hey, this is what I did last night on this video game. Hey, have you played this new game? I want to check out this new game, stuff like that. The school-based subjects, there's many games out there, surprisingly enough, that I have learned quite a few things that I can then apply into my classes. Again, with finding new ways to do a math equation, but also one of the major video games that I think of is Assassin's Creed. Now, this is a fictional game, but it's based upon historical events. Of course, the game is you're an assassin, and you start out in like Europe in medieval times almost. Things are just starting off. The church is starting to take power, but at the same point, a lot of the things that happen around you are correct historically, which I have actually then applied in my history. Now, for to finish up here, the main thing that I'd want to say is, with the gaming, it can be helpful, but at the same time, it can be bad for you. Playing too much of it. The thing is you need to find the limit. When is it helpful? When is it bad for you? When do you need to stop? If you can find that limit, gaming is a perfectly fine thing to do. And in my opinion, there's no way that it's going to make someone snap and go on a killing spree. It helps you mentally. It can help you with your learning in class. It's also a great way to get away from the real life for a while. Maybe you had a really stressful day. You had 3 tests in one day and you feel like you failed 2 of them. You're just really stressed out. Go home and play some video games. Get away from it. So that's my informative speech. Again, I'm Quentin Bergstad. Thank you for listening. I'll see you guys soon.